It is a Tuesday evening, and you're sitting on your couch scrolling through your phone. Your direct deposit hit this morning. The number in your account is the highest it has been in a while. You have a decent apartment, a reliable car, a wardrobe that works. You ordered dinner instead of cooking, and you did not think twice about it. From the outside, you look like someone who has figured it out. From the inside, you feel like someone who has figured it out. You open a retirement calculator for about 45 seconds. The numbers feel far away. You close it. That is a problem for 35-year-old you. You have time, that moment, that exact moment, is when the trajectory locks in, not from a dramatic mistake, not from a single bad decision you can point to and fix, from the quiet ones. The ones that feel like nothing, the decisions that look completely reasonable in isolation and produce a completely different person 10 years from now. Most people who end up financially stuck did not get there through one catastrophic event. They got there through a decade of small signals nobody warned them about while they were happening. Today, I am going to walk you through 11 of those signals. None of them mean anything alone. All of them together predict where you will be in 10 years with uncomfortable accuracy. Before we get into it, if this video shows you something real, hit subscribe and leave a like. It takes 2 seconds. Now let's get into it. One thing before we start, do not just watch this as a list. Keep a mental score. Every time a signal sounds like you count 1 point. 0 to 2 signals means you are dealing with normal financial friction. 3 to 5 means your system needs attention. 6 or more means your future self is probably already paying for patterns your present self has normalized. The number is not there to shame you. It is there to make the invisible visible. Signal 1. You cannot name your savings rate. If I asked you right now, what percentage of your take-home pay flows into savings or investment accounts each month, you would have to do mental math to figure it out. Or you would guess. Or you would say something like, I think it is around 10%. The not knowing is the signal. People who end up financially stable in 10 years can answer this question immediately. They know the exact percentage because they engineered it. People who end up financially fragile have a feeling about their savings rate, but no specific number because savings is whatever happens to be left after spending. According to Vanguard's How America Saves report, the average employee 401k contribution rate sits around 7.7% of salary. Combined with employer matches, the average total savings rate reaches roughly 14.2%. But that average hides a brutal reality. The bottom half of contributors are well below those numbers. Millions of workers are saving 0 or near 0 each month while telling themselves they are saving. 5% of $75,000 a year invested at 8% for 30 years compounds to roughly $460,000. 15% over the same window compounds to roughly $1.4 million. Same income, same time, same returns, 3 times the outcome. The difference between those two futures is a single number you either know or you do not. If you do not know it, the trajectory has already started. Signal 2. Your savings rate does not change when your income changes. You got a raise last year, maybe a promotion the year before, the money came in, some of it, none of it ended up in your savings or investment accounts. The savings rate stayed essentially flat while your spending scaled up to match the new income. This is the mechanic behind the pattern that catches almost everyone who is not paying attention. Lifestyle inflation, income rises, lifestyle rises in parallel, savings rate as a percentage stays exactly where it was. According to Goldman Sachs research, 41% of Americans earning between $30,000 and $500,000 annually report living paycheck to paycheck. 40% of those earning over $500,000 say the same. And these are people who absorbed every dollar of income growth into expanded consumption. They earn more than 99% of Americans. They feel as financially stretched as someone earning $50,000 because their expenses moved in perfect step with their income. The signal that predicts which side of this you land on is not your income. It is whether the percentage of your income flowing to wealth building accounts increases when your paycheck grows. If your raises consume themselves into nicer restaurants, a slightly upgraded apartment, and a newer car, the trajectory is set. The next raise will do the same thing. The one after that will too. 10 years from now, your income will be substantially higher and your financial position will be roughly identical to today. The easiest way to break this is not to wait until you feel disciplined. It is to assign the raise before the raise becomes normal. If your income rises by $500 a month, decide in advance that $200 or $300 of it automatically moves towards savings or investments before your lifestyle has time to absorb it. Once the higher income becomes your new normal, reducing it feels like a sacrifice. Capturing it early feels like nothing. Signal 3. You cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. According to Bankrate's 2026 Annual Emergency Savings Report, 59% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency from savings. 24% have zero emergency savings at all. 33% have more credit card debt than emergency savings. These are not fringe numbers. These describe the majority of the country. The signal is not moral failure. The signal is structural fragility. Every emergency forces a return to credit. Every credit balance creates ongoing interest payments at 21 to 25% APR. Every interest payment reduces the cash available for the next emergency, which means the next emergency forces even more credit reliance. The cycle does not run linearly, it compounds. The household that starts at zero emergency savings and $1,000 in credit card debt at age 30 often arrives at age 40 with no emergency savings and $12,000 to $15,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest, paying roughly $2,800 per year in interest alone. That $2,800 could have been the start of an emergency fund. It went to interest payments instead. The fragility entrenches itself. Signal 4. You do not know your real monthly expenses. If I asked you right now, what did you spend last month, you would have to open your banking app to find out. Most people answer this question with a number that is $200 to $400 lower than the real total. The gap between perception and reality is the signal. People who reach financial stability know what they spend. They have a number accurate within $50 at any given moment. They do not need to check. The number is part of their mental landscape, the way their address is part of their mental landscape. People who do not know what they spend operate on an inflated sense of available money. They make decisions based on that inflated number, run out before the month ends, and cannot explain where it went. The cycle repeats every single month for years. Knowing the number is not sophistication. It is just paying attention. The unwillingness to look is itself the signal that predicts the next decade. Because if you cannot look at the number now, you almost certainly will not look at it next year either. And by year 10, the avoidance will have produced an outcome you will wonder how you arrived at. Signal 5. You make car decisions based on monthly payments instead of total cost. The dealer asks what monthly payment you are comfortable with. You give a number, the financing gets stretched, the term gets extended, the down payment gets minimized, all to engineer that monthly number. You drive off feeling fine because the payment fits your budget. According to Experience Q for 2025 Automotive Finance Report, the average new vehicle monthly payment hit $767. Over 20% of new car buyers committed to payments exceeding $1,000 a month. Total U.S. auto loan debt has crossed $1.66 trillion. The signal is not the car itself. The signal is the framework you use to evaluate the car. Monthly payment thinking is the financial equivalent of looking at the floor while walking off a cliff. Each month feels fine. The total cost is invisible. $767 times the average loan term equals over $52,000 in payments for a car that will be worth roughly $16,000 at loan end. The same $767 a month invested at 8% average annual returns for 25 years compounds to approximately $728,000. $727,000 of foregone wealth hidden inside a monthly number that felt manageable. Let me pause here because the pattern across the first 5 signals is starting to reveal itself. Every signal involves a number you're choosing not to know. The savings rate you cannot quote, the savings rate that does not change, the emergency capacity you have never measured, the monthly spending you do not track, the car cost you never total. Financial fragility is more than anything else a relationship with not knowing. The not knowing is comfortable in the short term and catastrophic over a decade. The people who reach financial stability share one underlying trait. They look at the numbers. They are not braver, smarter, or more disciplined than anyone else. They just look. The looking is the entire foundation, and this is where the second half of the list gets more dangerous. The first 5 signals are mostly numbers you're choosing not to know. The next 6 are systems you have allowed to run without supervision. Systems are more dangerous than one-time mistakes, because once they run quietly in the background, They start shaping your life without asking for permission. Signal 6. You have at least 3 subscriptions you do not remember signing up for. Open your bank statement right now and scroll through the recurring charges. There is a streaming service you forgot about, a free trial that converted 6 months ago, a meal kit you used once, a storage app for files you do not access, a premium version when the free version would have worked. According to C++R research updated for 2026, the average American spends roughly $219 a month on subscriptions across about 8 active services. The average American thinks they spend roughly $86. The perception gap is $133 a month. $1,600 a year in services people genuinely do not remember paying for. $1,600 a year invested at 8% over 25 years should compounds to roughly $117,000. The forgotten subscriptions are not the reason people go broke. They are a leading indicator of a broader pattern. If you cannot track the things automatically draining your account, you almost certainly cannot track the things draining it actively. The subscription signal predicts a financial attention pattern that scales across every other category of spending in your life. Signal 7. Your credit card debt is growing or staying flat instead of shrinking. According to LendingTree data through Q1 2026, the average credit card APR across all cards is 21%. Per Bankrate's 2026 credit card debt report, 47% of credit card holders carry a balance month to month. 61% of those carrying balances have been in debt for at least a year, up from 53% in late 2024. Long-term credit card debt is becoming the norm. Total US credit card debt crossed $1.3 trillion in early 2026. The signal is not having credit card debt. Almost everyone does at some point. The signal is which direction the balance is moving. If your balance is shrinking month over month, you are winning slowly. If it is flat, the interest is consuming everything you put toward it, and your real progress is zero. If it is growing, the math is moving against you with mathematical certainty. $6,500 at 22.4% generates roughly $1,500 in annual interest alone. 10 years of carrying a $6,000 credit card balance costs you roughly $15,000 in interest payments. Here is the test most people avoid. Compare your credit card balance today to the balance 90 days ago. Not the payments you made, not the amount you intended to pay, the actual balance. If the number is not lower, your debt plan is not working yet. The first goal is not perfection. The first goal is to make the line move down for 3 months in a row, even if the movement is small. Shrinking is control. Flat's a warning. Growing is an emergency. Signal 8. You're investing 0 or near 0 each month. According to the National Institute on Retirement Security, February 2026, report the median amount saved for retirement among American workers ages 21 to 64, including those with 0 savings, is $955. Read that again. Median across all working age Americans. $955. 28% of Americans have nothing saved for retirement at all. The signal is not being behind on retirement. Roughly 2/3 of Americans are. The signal is whether the contribution exists at all. $200 a month invested at 8% from age 30 to 65 compounds to approximately $460,000.